everyone, and welcome back to another OurMFC video. Today we have got Ben back on. We're going to be going through the Bournemouth game and the Watford game. So how have you been, Ben? All right?
Yeah, not bad, thank you.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Boro, a bit inconsistent.
Yeah,
Yourself?
the only consistent thing is being inconsistent, I guess, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah. No, I've been good as well. Thanks, mate.
Good to it.
But yeah, we'll jump into the Bournemouth game first. Like I said, I've made some notes, so we'll go through these, and then we'll jump into the Watford game afterwards and talk about yesterday's performance.
Cool.
Perfect. Right. So started with I think the main issues from the Bournemouth game were like the lack of creativity.
Yeah.
Just what I mean. I think we've said it loads this season, haven't we? Just not been enough in that from the front three. And I think that really showed, especially in the first half against Bournemouth. You know, the really strong side.
Yeah.
How they're in the Championship, I've got no idea when you look at their squads. But yeah, you look at that quality against our. I mean, I know we've added some players, but we're certainly nowhere near in terms of quality where they are.
Yeah.
And like I said, that front three, the lack of chances that we created were evident throughout.
Yeah, I think really that's not just been a problem for this year though. I think that's been a problem pretty much since we got relegated. Well, even the Prem, that was, it makes you wonder if it's more of a systemic problem, not just the current crop of players. I think it's probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
But one day, hopefully, we'll be able to create chances.
Yeah, I mean, actually, it's a good point you bring, actually, because I was thinking about this the other day. Every now and again, I go on these little, I could be laid in bed and I'll be just weird thoughts going in your head like that. And in terms of our problems in front of goal and things like that. And I was thinking about, one of the lads, James, just put out, he did an article for me today. I don't know if you've seen that yet, about Britt. And obviously his time at Boro looks like it's coming to an end. It's been confirmed it's coming to an end. But you look at the quality of strikers that we've had for the number of years.
Yeah.
We had, I think Negredo was superb, to be fair, getting double figures. But then we had the likes of, before that, we had Jordan Rhodes. We, like you said, Britt Assombalonga. All these strikers that have kind of come on board that are absolutely brilliant strikers at the previous clubs.
Yeah.
And they come to the Borough. Even, Bamford had a season fair. But all the other strikers that we've brought in just hasn't seemed to work for us. So you do kind of look at that and go, is it a system thing? Because, like you said, Britt this season has been just, non-existent really. And he didn't have the best season last season under Woodgate. It was more Fletcher's time of shine, really.
Yeah.
So like you say, you look at that and you go, is it more of a club thing? Is it something that we need to change system-wise? But I guess, to be fair, in terms of Britt, his output has been decent compared to the managers that we've had in the systems that we've been playing. But I think because of the price tag that was on him, he had such obviously high expectations. He's our record signing of all time, so he's going to have that expectation, isn't he? But like you say, you maybe look at that and go, is it a system thing?
Yeah, I don't think he's been as bad as some people say. I think it's that price tag, like you said. Like he has.
Yeah, I think he has had a lot of stick, hasn't he?
He's got double figures in all his seasons apart from this one. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
He was playing under Woodgate in his first season. Pulis, who's a dinosaur. Was it Gary Monk, who doesn't seem that great?
Yeah, for half a season, yeah.
So, I don't understand. He gets a lot of stick. And I think some of it's warranted. But I don't think he's not the worst striker we've had in the last couple of years. It's just he's on, he's 15 mil, he's on 33 grand a week.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. It's, the wage that he's on at a Championship club, the price tag that we, the money that we paid for him. And I don't know, I don't know why some of the stick is warranted at times. I genuinely think it is just that price tag. But like you say, looking over the last few seasons, I think he's been brilliant. And I put a post out on OurMFC, like saying after he'd been confirmed, like, thank you for all you've done for the club, because he scored some really important goals that kind of go amiss. And at the end of the day, obviously he's either played more games than Mark Viduka, but he's the player to score the most goals now for Boro at the Riverside. So, like you say, you look at that, and he's got himself in the history books to some extent at the football club. And I do believe if under the right manager, and probably more consistently as well, if they had a good few seasons in charge where someone had taken over and been given time, he would have really kicked on and scored between 15 to 20 goals.
I'd expect so, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we went on a bit of a tangent there, didn't we, on Britt? But bringing it back to the Bournemouth game, like I said, the front three were quite poor all round.
Yeah.
I thought Watmore, he's one of the. I know why Warnock puts him in there, because he absolutely he works his ass off, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Doesn't stop all game. You know what I mean? He's constantly going, and he kind of, all the energy that was being sapped from a strong Bournemouth defence, he was the one that kind of looked to keep us going with his energy and closing defenders down and that kind of thing.
Yeah, he's good at that. He's you can question some things about him, but you can't question his heart, his effort. And really that's the key thing, I think. Like Boro,
definitely.
That's what we want mostly.
Well, exactly, and that's why I think next season, if we can get the fans in and stuff, I think he'll really kick on and have a really good season. I'm hoping he can get a few more this season, but I'm thinking, after, when the fans come back in, hopefully with that, the crowd behind him, he'll kind of kick on, because like you say, he's one of them types of players where any Boro fan knows. Do you know what I mean? You want a player that's going to show passion and fight for every ball. I think that's why we like players like Sam Morsey or like a Ledbetter. These are the type of players that we need, that this club thrives off, if you like. So yeah, I think he could be one of them, couldn't he, really, that's going to kick on hopefully next season as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then actually touching on that, he did actually get himself a goal, didn't he? Against Bournemouth, and that was a really well taken one, actually.
Right.
Blassie fizzes a ball in, just takes one touch out his feet, and bang, bottom corner, and he's got us back into the game essentially.
Yeah, edge of the box. That was a finish. It was a great finish.
Yeah, I mean, the first time I'd seen it, I went, but it was only the second or third time I'd seen it, I went, well, actually, that's a cracking goal.
Yeah, that's great.
From, like you say, the way he took it, onto his left foot, and he put it across the keeper. Because at the end of the day, if he puts it across the keeper, if the keeper parries it out, do you know what I mean? He's only parrying it out probably for a tap-in.
Yeah.
So even if the keeper saves it, he's probably still contributed to a goal in somewhere.
Yeah. I think the goal was especially made by that first touch as well. Like that first touch is great, because the ball comes in at him at some speed, and just to control it, take it away from the defender, and then get him on his left foot, and then, well, like I said, the finish was brilliant. Yeah,
well, he creates a space for himself, doesn't he?
Yeah.
The way that, like you say, he opens his body up and then gets it across the keeper. That's, for me, that was the one positive I could take out of that Bournemouth performance. The work rate of Watmore, and like you said, his finish. Because I think, I can't remember the stat off the top of my head, but something like from 22 shots, he scored 7 goals, which is like one of the highest rates in the Championship. Like he is up there for like his conversion rate, I think it is. So yeah, like you said, really impressed with him against Bournemouth. But then going on to actually, what we'll do is we'll go on to the Watford game now, because to be fair, after that, in the second half, didn't really give us much to talk about, for being honest. Bournemouth, like you said, just were a very strong side, aren't they? And do you know what I mean? The quality that they've got, I'd find it hard to not see them going up this season, even if it is under Woodgate. You know, I do think they've got the strength and depth there. Do you know what I mean? I personally, I don't see Reading or Barnsley or Swansea as good as that Bournemouth side. I think Barnsley have been on unbelievable form, so you can't discredit them for that. But personally, I don't think Swansea are anything special. And I'm still got a little bit of a grudge after that game. And then I think in the playoff final, it'll be probably Bournemouth and Brentford.
Yeah.
I think it would be them two. And then Watford and Norwich will probably go up automatically. But I don't know, we'll see. But like you said, that going into that second half, you could see that they were comfortable, really, and we couldn't really get around them. I think their front three were superb. Dan Juma, Solanke, and can't remember who the other one was.
Stanislas.
But then I think it might have been Stanislas. Yeah, them three were just superb, just making the space, dragging defenders out. So they look comfortable. As soon as they got the second goal was a little bit sloppy to concede. I can't lie. It was a bit of I think Warnock described it as a Sunday League goal because it just kind of bounced out and it took a deflection, and it kind of bobbled in. But yeah, like I said, they look comfortable, really.
Yeah.
But then going to the Watford game, get me notes open for that. First, I said this all season as well. Actually, I think we spoke about it last time. We did a match reaction, and it was about stringing passes together and keeping the ball. I think the possession stats after the first 30 minutes were like 75% Watford.
Yeah.
Something ridiculous like that. And obviously we knew that they were going to come to the Riverside and kind of dominate possession and, tackles and stuff. But when we had the ball, I'd have liked to have seen us keep the ball a little bit better.
Yeah.
Like I said, I remember us talking about that before.
Yeah, I think really we're set up to counter-attack. I think that's what Warnock's going for. And I don't know if that's his preferred formation from other clubs or that's just what he's taken from the squad he's got. Because again, it was that 5-3-2 come 3-5-2 on the attack. And what I thought was interesting was that you'd often have like Morsey or Howson dropping back into the back line to allow Fisher and Spence and Boller to all just bomb forward.
Yeah.
But like you said, there was a real disconnect up top, I think, because when we'd get there, I can remember several times where Cabano or Spence would beat a man and then play a 1-2, and the second pass would be wayward. And it's just little things like that. If we can work on, I think next season we could be a good team. I think there's potential there.
Yeah. No, definitely, and I think that's why Warnock said, it's an exciting time to be a Middlesbrough manager. There's maybe a couple of tweaks that we can really make going into next season. I think how many is it? 8 games we've got left. Going into these final run of games, it's going to be a case of trying out different players, maybe different formations. But as daft as it sounds, I am the optimist. So technically, there is still a chance. It's extremely unlikely, and we'd have to win every single game.
Yeah, and we won't.
It definitely won't happen. However, you're better off just accepting that it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Planning for next season, trying out different formations, different players, that kind of thing. And finding out who you're gonna keep for this season and who you'd maybe send out on loan.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you about that actually. I was watching that game and thinking 2 players that could really do with a good loan spell would be Coulson and Spence. I think Coulson, just because of his age, I don't know what Warnock is thinking in regards to him, because when he came on, he actually played up top.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's maybe trying him there, or I'm just not sure. But I think he'll either sell Coulson or he'll send him out on loan. And then I do believe that Spence needs to go out on loan just because there's a few times where he's had the ball in certain positions, and there's been, it's that one extra touch, or when he's shielding the ball, for example, he's shielding the ball, but he's not really shielding the ball. If you know what I mean? He's kind of like guarding the ball, but then allowing the defender to kind of nick in there and take it away from him. So I think he'd really benefit from going down to League One, because God, there'd be a queue of teams there wanting to take someone like Spence on, and give him a good run of games. Really, I think he needs that under his belt and come back a stronger, fitter player.
Yeah, I think he's lacking confidence at the moment. I think that's what. I mean, I could be very wrong, but because under Woodgate, he was the starting right back like every game pretty much, starting full back, starting wing back, and getting games, and he was looking really good. And I think maybe it went to his head, or maybe he got overhyped by some people, because this season he doesn't look anything like he did. I don't think it's that he's got no talent and that he just had a lucky streak, because you can see the talent when he plays. You can see his raw pace and him beating a few men. You can see that he's got the quality. I think he just needs, like you said, to go down a level, maybe even to League Two, just to really get that confidence back up. I think, because I think there is a real player in there. I think if he can find that form again, he'll be a great wing back.
Of course, yeah. I mean, that's why Mourinho was interested in him for like a number of months. There was talk of him potentially going out to Tottenham and being transferred to them. Obviously, someone like Mourinho is not going to look at Spence and think of him as a player that he could bring in if there's no talent there. I mean, like you said, under Woodgate, we've seen that. He was absolutely superb when he brought him into the side. Like you said, there is definitely a player in there. It's just kind of unlocking that, isn't it? Finding the right key to unlock that, and to let him express himself. I think what Warnock sees in him is sometimes his defensive side of the game. He gives the ball away a little bit too easily as well. And I think that's sometimes what Warnock really dislikes. So whereas I think, I don't know, it's finding a balance, because I think, for example, Darnell Fisher, brilliant defender, but for me, he's not as good as Spence going forward. Whereas Spence is good going forward, but he's not as good as Fisher defending. So if we could strike a balance between them two, you'd get the perfect player.
It'd be great.
But I think it'd be amazing. I think that would be like the final piece of the puzzle, really. But I think I do think that Spence could benefit from a loan in, and like I said, the same with Coulson.
I think Coulson, it's a bit different, because I think Coulson's, because Spence is only 20, I think, whereas I think Coulson's like 23 now, which is still young, but in the next few years he's going to be hitting his prime, he's going to be hitting his peak. And I feel like, for me, the fact that Warnock brought him on, he was playing centre mid, and then we switched to a 4 at the back and he was playing up top, and he was kind of ever on the pitch. To me, I think that signifies that Warnock doesn't know what his best position is. Because obviously under Woodgate, he was a starting left back most of the time, and he looked great as well. But again, it could be a confidence thing. But I don't know if Warnock doesn't rate him as a left back. I mean, Mark Boller has been brilliant this season. Probably my player.
Yeah, you're not getting him out. You're not getting him out of the team this season.
So, and I think that's really shaken his confidence. So maybe a loan spell for him, or I wouldn't be averse to letting him go.
I mean, at the end of the day, you've got to do what's best for the player's career at the end of the day. And I think Warnock's really good at that anyway. He takes into account where he's looking to take the team and whether that player's going to be involved or not. And if they're not, he'll just tell them straight away, which is a really good part about it. And then going back to the Watford game itself, like I say, you know what it's like? It's as if they had too many Easter eggs on the Sunday and they were a bit lethargic on the Monday. Definitely. But no, the Sam Moss injury, hopefully, I was hoping it wasn't going to be too serious, but then obviously the news came out that he's out for the rest of the season with ligament damage. So that's obviously going to be a massive blow going at the final games. But then it may be, I guess, opens the door up for, you know, a couple of other players that Warnock might have in mind to try different formations and try different positions. Because obviously, for me anyway, Morsey's a definite starter when he's fit and he's in the side. So with him not there, you can maybe try McNair, like you say, back in that role, or actually probably not McNair at the minute, just because Fry's out. When Fry's back in, then you've got the option to put McNair in there, work it with Sav and Howson, or do you know what I mean, and try it that way.
I don't think we have anyone that can really do what Sam Morsey does exactly the way he does it, because he's you know, he just runs around the pitch, makes tactical. He's like Fernandinho for the Championship. He's great, and I don't think we've got that. I think McNair. You know, McNair's great, but I don't think he's that kind of player. I don't think Howson's got the legs to do that, really. It's the same with Saville. He's not that kind of player. So I think, you know, we're going to have to change the system, really, which is a big blow, because this system has looked pretty good for us. I'd like to see Hayden Hackney get some game time, but I don't know if he's ready at Championship level. That's the problem, and we don't want to rush him in.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think, you know, like we spoke about the final run of the games, and obviously you know, you'd already count your chances now of getting playoffs. Maybe it's the time now to bring someone like Hayden Hackney in and give him a shot in the final run in, and maybe, you know, swap him and maybe Howson, or, you know, Sav and McNair have both been absolutely smashed these last few weeks, with obviously playing Northern Ireland and stuff. So you maybe think to yourself, you know, get Hayden Hackney in there, give him some experience, give him a bit of a taste, because he had it in the cup, and I thought he did all right. You know, there's you can see the difference between obviously a younger player like that and then coming straight into the first team and playing against the likes of Brentford. Because obviously he said, well, Warnock obviously explained, you know, it's split-second decisions, it's, you know, tracking your men and that kind of thing that he maybe forgot to do at times. But I think now is the perfect time to bring people out there and like experiment, if you like.
I'd quite like to see Josh Coburn get some minutes.
Well, he's featured on the bench a few games now, hasn't he? With obviously Brit not going to be playing. Like, he's been on fire, hasn't he? In the youth teams, so why not?
I'd like to see it. You know, Britt's leaving. Fletcher might be. Coburn might be a good replacement for free. We can find out. I mean, the best thing. I mean, that's what the academy's there for, isn't it? At the end of the day, the academy's there to, you know, bring and a lot of teams nowadays don't do that. I mean, you look at Chelsea's a perfect example, and I know that they've brought a few in every now and again, but if you look at the amount of players that they've got to go out on loan, that would be more than, I mean, for example, I remember, I think it was Bertrand Traore at the time. I think he was in their academy at the time, and he came up and he featured in a couple of games, and every game he played, he scored. And then they let him go. And like I say, it's frustrating, because I don't think people or clubs use their youth system enough nowadays. So I agree with you. I think it would be good to see someone like Coburn come in and give it a shot. Yeah, can't hurt, can it? I think playoffs are gone.
Well, exactly.
I respect your optimism, but I think they're gone now.
Yeah, you know, they probably are, mate. But then I was really impressed with our shape, and I remember reading after the game that Warnock did say it did look negative, but it was to really kind of nullify that strong attacking force that Watford have. You know, João Pedro, that Sema, I think he's called, but like both, brilliant attackers. That obviously every time they go forward, they look like scoring or, you know, creating something. But I was really impressed with the likes of Hall as well. You know, anything in the air. I mean, he got man of the match yesterday. And rightly so as well, because anything in the air, he just mopped it all up.
Grant Hall was good. I think
Yeah,
I think
superb.
because I'm writing the match review article, so
Yeah.
check that out. But I think for me, Grant Hall was good, but I thought if Mark Bowler hadn't made that poor clearance, I think he definitely could have been in there for man of the match show. I thought he was up and down like all game, putting some good crosses. You know, the Watmore disallowed goal came from his cross. I thought Fisher probably edged it over him. I think Fisher was great defensively. I remember one time.
Honestly, he's the biggest shithouse I've ever seen at this club for a long. He's brilliant. I absolutely love him. Other than Sam Morsey. But when he plays, honestly, he's involved in everything. I put a tweet out yesterday. He's involved in literally everything, and I love it. Like there was a ball that came in. The keeper comes to collect it.
Yeah.
There's no way he's going to win it, but he goes in for it anyway. Smashes the keeper.
I thought he'd hurt himself. I was worried.
Well, yeah, the force that he went in. Yeah. Then he just gets up and runs off. He's fine. Yeah. But honestly, massive shit house. But yeah, he was brilliant yesterday.
Yeah. And he annoyed Ken Samer so much that he won us the free kick that scored. So.
Exactly. Yes, he did. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, like you said, there was a lot of really decent performances. That actually, you know, it wasn't the most entertaining game to watch, but if you pick apart the kind of tactics behind it and the reasoning for why we played the way that we did, you know, yeah, we could talk about experimenting and stuff, but I do think Warnock will still want to win these games at the end of the day, or come out with points. And like I said, I know that wasn't the most entertaining game, but you've come out with a point against a really strong Watford side.
Yeah. I think you know, sometimes you have to play ugly. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
They've got an 88 capped Colombian on the bench. Well, it's a joke.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. That like you look at the strength of some of them top sides that are up there this season, and there's no doubt that they'll go up. Them and Norwich will go up. But you just look at the players and the squad depth. So yeah, like you said, there was some really good performances yesterday. But I want to touch on that McNair delivery, and that Balassi header.
Yeah.
Oh, honestly, I must have watched that goal at least like 10 times.
Yeah, that ball.
It was majestic almost.
He's Kevin De Bruyne. Paddy McNair is Kevin De Bruyne.
He literally, honestly, no, like jokes aside, he genuinely is like a championship De Bruyne.
It's ridiculous.
I would go that far to say in terms of the way, like his ball distribution.
Yeah.
In terms of like delivery for set pieces, he genuinely. I remember when I watched like that Premier League season and the first time watching De Bruyne live.
Yeah.
And I did take a step back and I was like, oh my God, this, like, what a player.
Yeah.
But he does remind me in that sense of, like you said, the way that he kind of picks the ball up, and when he's at the back, he pings like a 40-yard ball, and he just finds the space, and it was a little curler into that area. And thankfully, Balassi, you know, just coming off the bench as well, was free in the area.
Yeah, I mean, I think people giving him a lot of credit for the header. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a good header, but I think I could finish that cross. Like that cross, I'm not very good at football, but I think I could have finished that one off.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair to Balassi, it was like a macaroni-esque header.
Yeah.
I don't think he needed to die for it, but I think it, you know, 10 for like the thingy side of it.
Giving 12 points.
What'd you say? Like the dramatic effect of it, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like going into the diving header. No, I did think it was a good header, but like you say, you can't take anything away from that delivery, because when he's putting balls in like that, you expect to score.
Yeah, pretty much.
And if you don't, there's something wrong massively.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, it was good to see Balassi get on the score sheet as well as first for the Boro, and hopefully some more for the rest of the season. Hopefully that kind of kicks him on now. He's got his taste for goals. I think I've seen something he hasn't scored in the Championship since 2018.
Yeah, it was like
I think it was.
Or something, yeah.
Yeah, it was like Villa v Preston or something,
Yeah.
and 2-2 draw, something daft like that. So it's been a few years. So hopefully, like you say, he's got the taste for it now, and he can kind of kick on the rest of this season. We'll see a bit more flair.
Hopefully, yeah.
And I think, fingers crossed, next season.
I think it's unlikely.
All you can do is hope.
Yeah.
That the group of players that he's with at the minute, he really gets on with and he likes.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that today. I'm thinking, I've seen his comment on Matt Bowler's post saying, it was like, yeah, well done, my young brother. And I'm thinking, you know what? If they can become like that,
yeah,
there's a chance that next season he could come back.
Come on.
He goes, he's like, maybe going back to Everton. He's like, bye lads, I'll miss you.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can convince him to stay. Obviously his wages is just the main thing, because he's on he'll be on a free this summer, but whether or not he'll want to stay, I don't know. I think it will all come down to that, whether the players and Warnock could convince him to stay. And I think Warnock will have a big thing to do with it, and kind of saying to him, look, the fans are going to be coming back in. You can't leave. Kind of like what Gibson said to Warnock. You can't leave without actually experiencing the fans in the stadium.
Yeah.
And I think the fans behind a player like Bolasie, do you know what I mean? It reminds me of every time Adama got the ball.
Yeah.
Urging him to run out of player, aren't you? And, do a couple of step overs to the byline with the ball in. And for anyone watching the Wolves Villa game, Adama's assist last night was something else.
That was great.
Yeah. So if we can get a Bolasie that stays next season and delivers that kind of quality in front of the fans as well, you can't have so much more than that.
Yeah, I think we might just start going suddenly.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, we definitely will. I think that's what Warnock said as well.
Yeah.
You know what? I'd happily set that up. OurMFC, OurMFC go fund me for Bolasie next season. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's start it. But that that pretty much covers everything. That last thing was just to touch on Bolasie and whether you thought he was going to come back next season. But like you said, I think it all comes down to wages. So just see what happens now. We can just keep our fingers and toes crossed, and
hopefully.
see if Warnock can work his magic.
Yeah.
But thank you very much, Ben, for joining us on this match reaction.
Thanks for having me.
Hopefully we'll get you in some more videos down the line, and hopefully we'll get you some more player interviews as well. Get you jumping on board with them. So we'll get in touch with some more people and get some others involved.
Cool, sounds good.
Smashing, right? Well, if you are watching on YouTube, make sure if you are watching on YouTube, make sure to like the video and subscribe. And if you're listening on the podcast, please leave a review. And make sure you tell everyone about it. Tell all your mates that there's this amazing podcast and this amazing YouTube channel that's talking about the club that we all love, the Boro. And like I say, let us know all your thoughts on everything that we spoke about. But it's been me and Ben, and thank you very much for watching.
Thank you. Bye.